Rex and Alex, a perfect team. The wind whipped Alex's hair across his face, stinging his eyes with dust, but he didn't flinch. His gaze was fixed on Rex, a blur of motion darting through the simulated village. "Search!" Alex commanded, his voice cutting through the gusts. Rex, a 9-year-old German shepherd, didn't hesitate. He was a seasoned professional, his movements economical, his nose a finely tuned instrument. A hidden scent, a whisper of a threat, was all it took. Rex veered sharply, his powerful legs propelling him over a collapsed wall, his speed undiminished by the years. He paused at a stack of barrels, his body stiffening, then sat, his tail thumping once. Alex smiled, a rare, genuine expression. "Good boy, Rex." "Find." Retrieving the inert training device, Alex knelt, scratching behind Rex's ears. The dog leaned into the touch, his eyes dark and intelligent, looking up at his handler. Other teams might have dogs half Rex's age, but none possessed his uncanny instinct, his unwavering focus. Alex knew the whispers, the talk of Rex's upcoming retirement. Age protocol was age protocol, they said. But watching Rex move, seeing the pure joy in his work, Alex couldn't reconcile it. Rex wasn't just a good dog, he was exceptional, a force of nature. Later, in the quiet of the kennels, Alex sat beside Rex's run. The air was thick with the earthy scent of straw and dog. Rex rested his head on Alex's knee, a soft sigh escaping him. Alex ran a hand over Rex's coarse fur, feeling the solid muscle beneath. This wasn't just a working relationship, it was a partnership forged in countless hours, in dangers faced and overcome. He remembered the feeling of Rex's reassuring presence during a particularly tense patrol, the way the dog's quiet confidence had steadied his own nerves. Retirement was coming, but Alex knew, with a stubborn certainty, that Rex still had more to give. He would fight for it, if he had to. The age rule. The cool, clinical air of the examination room did little to dampen Rex's usual enthusiasm. Dr. Anya Sharma moved with practiced grace, her hands gliding over his sinewy frame. "Excellent muscle tone," she murmured, her stethoscope pressed against his chest. "Heartbeat strong, lungs clear." She held a treat, watching his eyes track it, then gave a series of rapid-fire commands. Rex executed each one flawlessly, his ears perked, a quiet intensity in his gaze. Mentally, he's as sharp as dogs half his age. She noted, logging the data. His cognitive function is exceptional. Her brow furrowed slightly as she finalized the report, the objective data clashing with the looming protocol. Colonel Harding, a man whose office exuded an aroma of stale coffee and polished oak, tapped a pen against Rex's thick file. 9 years, he stated flatly, his eyes scanning the regulations. Section 4B, subsection 3, mandatory retirement at 9 years of age. He read Dr. Sharma's glowing report, then cross-referenced it with the protocol. No performance issues, indeed. Exceptional, even. But the rule is clear, Doctor. He exhaled slowly, the weight of procedure heavy in the quiet room. Alex felt a cold dread settle in his stomach when the email notification chimed. The subject line: Rex, retirement clearance. He clicked it open, his jaw tightening as he read the verdict. Cleared for retirement. Age protocol met. Not a single mention of his agility, his unblemished record, or his razor-sharp instincts. Just the number 9, a bureaucratic guillotine falling on years of dedicated service. His hand clenched into a fist, a quiet resolve hardening his features. This wasn't over. Fighting for Rex. The pen felt heavy in Alex's hand, the paper stark white against the scarred surface of the desk. He meticulously detailed Rex's unparalleled record, the countless lives saved, the sheer impossibility of replacing such a partner. His fingers ached as he poured his heart onto the page, arguing for an exception, a stay of execution from the cruel decree of age. He sealed the envelope with a fervent hope that defied logic. Colonel Harding, a man whose spine seemed forged from the very regulations he upheld, read Alex's impassioned plea. His gaze, however, remained fixed on the line in the operations manual. Mandatory retirement at 9 years of age. He admired the dog's service, even felt a pang of understanding for Alex's grief, but the rule was the rule. No amount of heroism could bend protocol. The denial was issued promptly, a cold, official stamp on Alex's fading hope. Undeterred, Alex drafted a second appeal, this one even more desperate, seeking any loophole, any avenue to keep Rex by his side. He spoke to every officer who would listen, recounting Rex's exploits, begging them to intercede. The second rejection landed like a physical blow. A single, terse sentence from Colonel Harding's office reiterated the unyielding policy. Alex stared at the paper, the words blurring, a profound helplessness washing over him as the military's iron will crushed his every effort. One last walk. The crisp morning air bit at Alex's exposed skin, a stark contrast to the hollow ache in his chest. Today was the day. The retirement ceremony, a formality that felt more like a public execution. Rex, oblivious, nudged his hand with a wet nose, his tail a steady metronome against Alex's leg. A voice crackled over the comms. "Sergeant Miller, you're on for the Sector Gamma sweep. Standard patrol route, clear by 1600. Alex sighed, the routine assignment a cruel irony. He squared his shoulders, making his way to Colonel Harding's office. The colonel sat, a meticulously organized stack of reports before him. "Miller. What is it?" His tone was clipped, professional. "Sir," Alex began, his voice tight. "With Rex's ceremony today, and the sweep, could I request, for the paperwork, that he accompany me? Just for the ceremonial aspect, one last run through the sector." He knew the answer, could practically hear the regulations being quoted in Harding's head, yet he had to ask. The colonel's gaze, usually impenetrable, softened for a fleeting moment, a flicker of something akin to understanding before the mask resettled. "Very well, Miller," Harding stated, his voice flat. "For the paperwork." He made a dismissive gesture. "Just ensure your report reflects the proper protocol." The silent signal. The desert's scorching breath rose in waves from the fissured asphalt as Alex and Rex commenced their final sweep. Alex's measured footsteps provided a steady percussion, a backdrop to Rex's soft, investigative snuffles. The K-9 meticulously quartered the perimeter of the derelict supply depot, a fine, flour-like dust clinging to every surface, and the metallic tang of disused machinery thick in the air. Rex, typically a kinetic blur, navigated with seasoned grace, his nose an unerring compass through the myriad scents of decay. Alex, however, carried a familiar weight in his chest. This was it, their last mission. He observed Rex's powerful form, the unwavering focus in his amber eyes, and consciously banished thoughts of the impending farewell ceremony. They rounded a collapsing concrete barrier, entering a sector 3 other teams had already pronounced clear that month. Rex's tail, until then a gentle pendulum, grew still. His ears, usually attentive yet relaxed, swiveled, subtly tracking some unseen signal. He advanced 2 more measured paces, head held high, then, with an agility that belied his years, lowered himself to the ground, settling precisely where 2 crumbling walls met. His gaze became a fixed point, unwavering, locked on a narrow, shadowed crevice. It was the sign. The one Alex had witnessed countless times. The one that had never once proven false. A chilling certainty solidified in Alex's stomach, eclipsing both fatigue and sorrow. A hero's discovery. "He's found something," Alex stated, his voice cutting through the professional chatter of the other officers. The weight in his chest, a familiar companion on every mission with Rex, solidified into a chilling certainty. Colonel Harding, his posture stiff, looked at him with an unreadable expression. "Are you sure, Handler?" The question was clipped, but Alex detected a fleeting flicker of something akin to understanding in the colonel's eyes. 112 times, sir." "He always sits like that." Alex pointed to the exact spot where Rex had settled, a subtle indentation still visible in the dust near the wall junction. The bomb squad arrived swiftly, their specialized equipment cases clanking as they were unpacked. A technician, his face grim under the brim of his helmet, extended a flexible camera probe into the tiny gap where the wall met the floor. The other officers maintained a respectful distance, their earlier skepticism replaced by a tangible tension that vibrated in the air. On the portable monitor, a dark, cylindrical object slowly materialized. It was crude, hastily assembled, but undeniably a device designed to inflict maximum harm. A collective gasp rippled through the small group. Rex, oblivious to the drama unfolding around him, nudged Alex's hand, his tail giving a single, soft thump against the ground. He had been right. Again. Postponed party. The air still hummed with the phantom echo of sirens, but a different sound now filled the sector, a low murmur of awe. Soldiers clapped Rex on the back, their hands gentle, their faces etched with genuine admiration. He had done it again, a silent sentinel averting disaster. Alex knelt beside him, running a hand over Rex's thick fur, feeling the vibration of his contented pant. The IED, a crude but deadly device, sat on a tarp, a stark reminder of what could have been. Colonel Harding, usually a man of rigid protocol, approached with a tight-lipped expression. Alex, get Rex comfortable. Dr. Sharma will be here shortly for a full evaluation, though I imagine it's more for appearances now. He paused, a flicker of something almost like pride in his eyes. The ceremony. It's on hold. Indefinitely. Alex felt a strange mix of relief and vindication. Understood, Colonel. He glanced at Rex, whose tail gave a soft thud against the pavement. The news wasn't a shock. How could you retire a hero who had just saved countless lives? Nearby, a group of young recruits whispered. Did you see him? Just sat there, cool as you please. Another added. That dog's got a nose like a blueprint, I swear. 3 other teams missed it. Dr. Sharma arrived then, her kit bag clutched in her hand. Her gaze, however, wasn't on her instruments but on Rex, a silent testament to his extraordinary achievement. The paperwork, the endless forms, suddenly seemed trivial in the face of such undeniable heroism. The rule change. A week later, the air in the sterile conference room hung heavy with the scent of stale coffee and unyielding protocol. Colonel Harding, usually a paragon of rigid adherence, cleared his throat, his gaze sweeping over the assembled committee. Gentlemen, Dr. Sharma, he began, a flicker of something uncharacteristic, pride perhaps, dancing in his eyes. We are here to discuss the working dog guidelines, specifically concerning mandatory retirement. The retirement ceremony for Rex, scheduled just days prior, remained suspended, a stark reminder of the unprecedented situation. Dr. Anya Sharma, perched at the table's edge, presented a series of slides detailing canine longevity and peak performance metrics. Her voice, usually calm and detached during medical briefings, carried a subtle undercurrent of passion as she described Rex's recent examination. His cognitive function remains exceptional. Physically, he's in the top quartile for dogs half his age. The data suggests an arbitrary age cutoff disregards individual capacity. She cited examples of working dogs in other specialized fields serving well into their 10th year without decline. The committee members, initially resistant, shifted in their seats as Dr. Sharma continued to weave her compelling narrative, backed by irrefutable statistics. Harding listened intently, his fingers drumming a quiet rhythm on the polished wood. So, Dr. Sharma, you propose a performance-based assessment rather than a flat age? Precisely, Colonel, she affirmed, her eyes meeting his. With regular, rigorous evaluation, a dog like Rex could continue to serve effectively. After a brief, murmuring deliberation, the consensus solidified. The long-standing rule was indeed archaic. A motion was passed to revise the mandatory retirement age, replacing the flat 9-year cutoff with a performance-based clause, extending eligibility to 10 years with annual evaluations. Harding nodded, a rare, almost imperceptible smile touching his lips. Then it settled. The ceremony remains on hold indefinitely. On his own terms. The crisp morning air bit at Alex's cheeks, but Rex, tail a steady metronome, moved with an undiminished vigor through the urban sprawl. 11 months had passed since the IED, a lifetime in dog years, yet Rex's focus remained a laser. His powerful nose, a finely tuned instrument, led them through alleyways and industrial zones, each patrol a testament to his enduring spirit. Alex watched him, a quiet pride swelling in her chest. Rex wasn't just working, he was thriving, each successful sweep a silent vindication. But as the 12th month drew to a close, Alex began to notice subtle shifts. Rex's morning burst of energy would gently taper off sooner, his afternoon naps lengthening into deeper slumbers. He still found every scent, every hidden threat, but the spring in his step had softened, replaced by a comfortable, experienced gait. One afternoon, after a particularly long route, Rex flopped onto his bed with a contented sigh, his eyes, though still bright, holding a newfound weariness. The time, Alex knew, was finally right. The retirement was a quiet affair, a stark contrast to the ceremony that had never been. No fanfare, no speeches, just Alex kneeling beside Rex, unfastening his working harness for the final time. Rex nudged her hand, then ambled over to a sunbeam, settling down with a soft thud. His days now unfolded in a peaceful rhythm of shared walks, long naps on the living room rug, and endless games of fetch in the backyard. The weight of responsibility had lifted, leaving behind a profound tranquility. Rex, finally, was truly on his own terms.